What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos, and yes, we are back with a new episode of Take It to the Table. And of a certain segment that happened this past weekend, the table had to be summoned for this. And of course, we're going to be talking about the John Cena heel turn and everything else in between. But to talk about this particular segment, I need to have an esteemed panel, and I have joined by none other than Shad and Ben Allison, regulars of the Take It to the Table. How you doing? How you doing today, guys?
Doing good, man. It's been a while since I've been at the table, so always good to be back. And yeah, it's the first time I get to talk about this particular topic, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's gonna be just absolutely crazy, and I can't wait to get into it.
Yes. It's definitely a moment that shook the world. We thought we've seen it all, but clearly not. But yeah, I'll need to obviously delve into this with you guys because obviously you Wrestling Republic did a watch along with Jordy, Anthony, and Clark. But yeah, we want to obviously delve into this more, and then obviously what it means for the long term regarding this. But yeah, it's not just going to be us guys. We're actually going to be joined by a someone that was also at the watch along and is a super Cena fan, or at least we think he is or was. And it is none other than Mr. Jordy in the Bank. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, it's nice to be here, and we've got a lot to talk about. It was a rough weekend for me, as you can see. The initial reaction, kind of left me speechless. But I've had a lot of time to think since then. Hustle, loyalty, respect. I'm staying loyal, man. I'm still a Cena fan. Cody's
really?
in the way. Yeah.
Even though you're rocking a new look, you got the image at the back. Like, what's going on here?
Listen. It was a moment that kind of knocked the childhood out of me. So yeah, there's no more Disney in the background. I've got this image here as a constant reminder of that moment that kind of changed me from a boy to a man. And now I understand what's best for business. I get it. Cody's in the way. Unfortunately, he's collateral damage in this situation, and it is what it is.
Okay, so Cena was right. You know what you remind me when you say obviously you got that as a reminder. It reminds me of that scene in The Incredibles when it was Incrediboy and he obviously
no Disney. No.
Oh, my bad.
No Disney.
He's no longer Mickey's best pal.
No, different person.
Wow, shades and everything, wearing sunglasses at night. I appreciate it. Fair enough. Okay, well, yeah, glad to have you back on the table. Glad to have you all back at the table. And like I said, yeah, we're gonna be talking about the segment that shocked the world, something that we never thought we'd see, and it is of course Cena giving one of the most evilest looks of evils, and just kicked Cody in the gonads and joined forces with the devil, a sight that we never thought we would see. And yeah, man, you've seen kids cry, you've seen grown-ups cry, you've seen obviously Jordy's reaction, you've seen, well, me, I was flipping. It was 3 a.m. in the morning and I was bouncing off the walls.
Jordy cried too. Jordy cried.
Not on screen. Not on screen.
Now he's got his sunglasses on so he can't see.
That's what I'm saying. He's crying right now.
His eyes are red, like he was at a Wiz Khalifa concert right now.
I'm not.
He was. I don't know if he has a car, but I'm pretty sure he went in the car and cried as well. So it was that bad. But yeah, it shook up everyone, and it's people saying. Well, Ben also said, arguably, as I don't know if it's arguably or controversially saying that this was the greatest heel turn of all time. I mean, it's definitely up there. It's up in the top 3 or maybe even top 2.
Top 1 for me. Definitively.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, this was obviously one of the dissected with like what was I think all of y'all saw it live, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. So yeah, we'll just go clockwork and like I said, and just go through your emotions when, like, was that the last thing of your mind on your mind? Was you actually predicting that? Like, what was your thought? So let's start with you, Shad, because I know you haven't had a chance to talk about this segment. So what's your thoughts on Cena's heel turn.
Yeah, I mean, to say I was shocked was definitely the overall consensus. But now that I've let it kind of simmer through and looking at all the possibilities of what could have happened at this PLE, it's not as shocking. I think the road to what we were going to get to was obviously going to be either Cody turns heel or it's going to be whoever wins is going to turn heel and align with The Rock because Cody said no to it. Now, Cena being the individual for it is definitely a curveball. So first and foremost, how I feel about it, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think this is one of the best heel turns in WWE history. This is one of the more compelling things that WWE had storyline wise, maybe since last year with the Final Boss coming in and playing a big part in the whole Cody storyline. And the key things that I think about it too. One, this is like a lot of trust for Cody Rhodes. The WWE looks at him to be the quote unquote self-acclaimed quarterback. You're talking about a generational babyface run from him coming into the WWE, going against Seth, to losing to Roman and all the Royal Rumble victories, to finishing his story. Now going against the major authority that is The Rock and the head of the TKO board and John Cena, and it kind of being like the Hollywood unrest team, right? The two guys who left the WWE to go to greener pastures, being in Hollywood. So I think for Cody, this is phenomenal. You continue a career arc of what they're doing for him as a babyface, and then on the other side, this is real interesting. Personally, I remember when Cena was first ruthless aggression getting smacked by Kurt Angle, but also the doctor of thugonomics, being a heel guy, cutting bars and rapping battle rap type of bars to people. And this is a completely different iteration. And it kind of aligns to what he is, like I said, with The Rock. Like, these guys are head honchos. These guys are thinking about what's best for business. I like that a lot because it kind of comes off of like dirty politicians in a way, right? Like they're going to slither their way to do anything. And, we all from around the same, age bracket. We've seen Stone Cold go against Vince McMahon throughout our childhood, right? Like that type of storyline of the working wrestler who grinds out going against the authority figure, the top boss, the head bosses, really makes compelling storylines for pro wrestling. So all in all, man, I love it. I think this is great. And this makes WrestleMania way more compelling to want to see, thanks to our final boss.
Facts. Yeah, it is definitely a
He's
step in the right
Mania
direction
again, bro.
Yeah. Funny enough, twice in a row, and yeah, people hate to admit it. Obviously, everyone thought they, and I just want to say as well, like I just love the fact that I genuinely feel that Triple H is really having fun with the dirt sheets. Because there's been so many times, especially in this regime, where people have been reporting things like, "Yep, no, this is certain, this is happening, or this person ain't gonna be there, this ain't happening," and they completely just do a 180.
He said Drew McIntyre was gonna win.
Drew McIntyre, yeah, 100%.
And it was definitive too. It was.
That's what I'm saying. It's to the point where
it's happening. Done deal. Well, I mean. At the end of the day, the only doctor in professional wrestling we should listen to is Dr. Britt Baker. That was clearly the first mistake we made,
yes.
and it'll be the last.
I'm the doctor of thugonomics.
Maybe he was keeping it hidden for the doctor of thugonomics. They were all in cahoots, all the doctors.
Could be.
Maybe so. It is actually insane. It's like, it's to the point right now where I'm literally, I did it for a while, but even now full on, I'm literally like, you know what? It's in good hands, and in terms of, like whatever the, whatever the dirt sheets may say who it is or anything like that, it's most likely not going to be the case. And whatever the outcome is, I'm going to be happy with it. It's been, and so far I've been satisfied with any time there's something definitive and it goes the other way and it comes out all right. So yeah, I have no confidence.
If there's one thing about the WWE, they can take off all calendar year, but when it's Mania season, they are going like full, every ingredient measured to what's the best recipe for a show. They are not taking no days off of how they are going to construct WrestleMania, especially
100%.
the main event storylines.
100%. Like, obviously, I think shortly after when The Rock showed up at Bad Blood, you know, there was obviously talks that he was not going to be there, and then obviously he was saying, "No, don't believe the BS, he's not," and then everyone was saying, "Yeah, he's definitely not going to be there." But I feel like, and obviously last year when I saw that behind the curtain, Triple H saying that most of the card for Mania was pretty much wrapped up by October, and obviously there was some kind of like stuff happening in between. But when did Bad Blood happen? In October. So
That's true.
I feel like this was always the plan, and they just really kept it close knit. And yeah, like we got to where we were. I don't think it was like, even though, you know, Rock announced himself he was going to show up last minute and whatnot, and they kind of probably had to change everything up. Maybe that was the case, but they knew what the plan was.
Even if
They just didn't let
things
everyone know.
changed, even if things changed up, say a few weeks ago, as a writer, and for any type of writing, the best writers don't publish what they did out the gate. The first draft is never what's published when you put out there. You got to do revisions, change up stuff all the time. So like, for people that are so like holding into, well, this was supposed to be was at this time, or they made it so late into the game, who cares? We don't need to know any of that.
Yeah. They just blew out of proportion. Like I said, because of obviously what happened last year, there was this like, oh, it's happening again. It's coming in and changing everything for himself. I was like, nah, like the way it's all mapped out and how this all built up from Bad Blood, which was in October, it all makes sense. Like, and yeah, this was the plan all along. So yeah, I'm just here for the ride. And like I said, The Rock, he said he's 20 steps ahead, and he could prove to show. Obviously, we're going with Cena. What about you, Ben? I'm going to save the best to last. What about you, Ben? What's your thoughts on when you saw it? Because I know you wasn't on the watch long, and I'm sure you dissected it on the daily. But what's your thoughts on what was your initial reaction when you saw the heel turn, and are you happy with how it's going so far?
I mean, going into the chamber, we've joked about it. I had so many predictions. My predictions were changing every other minute. I honestly thought it was
understatement.
I thought it was going to be Cody versus Orton until Zayn versus Owens was announced. And then I was like, yeah, that's clearly not happening. But then, of course, we had all the stuff with the dirt sheets, Drew McIntyre winning, all of that. I saw that, presumed it was true. We went into the chamber. McIntyre got eliminated first. So I was thinking, what on earth is happening here? And at that point, I presumed it was CM Punk, who was my prediction. I thought we were doing Cody versus Punk, and I thought Punk was going to be the one to turn and join The Rock. So I did think somebody was going to do it. And I said I made many predictions, but the one prediction, and I tweeted it as well, I said, if you're going to believe one prediction from me going into the Elimination Chamber, and the one prediction I'll stick by this year is that Cody is not going to be the one to turn heel, not at Elimination Chamber or not at Mania. I can't see them turning Cody heel for a very long time, unfortunately, because he is, he's the face of the company right now, and they have nobody else to replace him. And Cena, of course, massively shocking. Nobody expected it. But, they don't need him as a babyface anymore. They now have Cody in that role. So that's why I didn't think it was going to be Cody. But again, I didn't think it was going to be John Cena either. In doing this, they've literally thrown merchandise money down the drain, right? Because they could have sold that merch in every single city for Cena's retirement tour. But instead, they were like, well, screw it. Let's make more money by making a bigger storyline, a bigger feud instead. They turned him heel, one of the most shocking, in fact, the most shocking heel turn of all time. I said it on the daily the other day. I'll quickly repeat it here. The reason I think this is more shocking than Hogan's one is if Hogan's one happened in today's day and age, with all the technology, everything, right, where people can make social media theories online, everybody would have worked out it was either going to be Hogan or Sting turning in that match. Everybody would have worked it out, right? Of course, there was no social media. It was hugely shocking. The second best by miles, but Cena for me now takes that top spot, the best one for me for sure. And the only other thing I'll say is Travis Scott's involvement was absolute gold. Why? Well, one, it's led to even more memes, but secondly, it's, you know, shown the fact that The Rock has many connections in Hollywood as well. So we just made him look, you know, a lot more stronger and connected too. And like, you know, they're almost not the Illuminati, but that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Yeah, especially with Travis Scott, like flipping out. That slap he gave to Cody, man. I'm sure he didn't he break his cheek or something? I heard he got injured because of that slap.
Eardrum is the rumor.
Oh,
And a black eye.
It wouldn't surprise me. That was like that was.
I think Triple H and WWE just uploaded a reaction video backstage with him.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
They're obviously not that mad at him, so it can't have been that.
Yeah.
No, of course.
He deserves a receipt. He's gonna get one.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get one, especially if he's looking to train. So yeah, Cody is like, I'm gonna get
if he hit a Cody cutter on him, his neck might completely just break off his joint. I'm a big Travis Scott fan. I think he's like one of the like doper musicians of like this generation, whatever the 2010-ish to 2020 range.
Mm-hmm.
And but what's up? Drake was in attendance. Why he ain't pop out?
Man, sometimes you gotta
to get
out
the
show, you know.
But the one thing I will say to defend Travis Scott about that real quick, if that is true as well, is quite often with celebrities, they tell them to actually like punch them and stuff like that.
I agree.
Yeah,
he will have said actually hit me and not quite realized how hard he was going to do it.
Yeah,
he's mad skinny. He probably didn't expect him to punch that hard.
It's better it being this than a meme about how weak the punch was and how pointless the punch was, I guess.
No, Cody.
As long as it's not like permanent eardrum damage.
It shook him. Like Cody didn't even sell it. He was just like, he just turned away. It was just like, you motherfucker. No, but yeah, no, like I don't think if he does wrestle, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be like Bad Bunny caliber, but I think he might be able to do something. Yeah, I don't know what. Sorry.
Take a bump.
Yeah, take a bump or two. Yeah. It's like, so yeah, they can just, you know, maybe get Braun Breaker to spear him like Ice Speed or something. I don't know. But yeah, no, it was
that kid is good.
Oh yeah, 100%. I want to see him in a match.
That selling was better than maybe any celebrity I've seen.
I don't know how much selling was involved.
I don't think that was selling. I think
Braun just ran through him.
No padding, no nothing, man. He just got gored.
No, he hit it hard. You could see he did that thing where you almost like you saw his body just stiffen up because he'd been hit with that much impact.
He loved it though. Like I feel like that's like a huge adrenaline. I mean, because these guys are fans like us, right?
He's crazy as well. He's got a screw loose. He's a perfect type of person for WWE.
I mean, from time he's jumping over like Lamborghini Hurricanes, man. I was like,
flipping and all sorts.
But yeah, I agree with now you put it in that perspective, Ben, in terms of regarding the Hogan turn, you know, obviously if that happened now with obviously the digital age and the social media era, people will probably like easily have figured it out, but it was so monumental back then because like I said, there was nothing like that. Right. It was either you was really in the know or you just wasn't. You was just a literal fan. Whereas now, if everyone tried to dissect anything, but that's what I guess makes this one even more bigger because the fact that we have digital age, we have the social media, and they literally had it in our faces with the posters with John Cena like little clues, and we still
Travis Scott.
See, Cena posted a photo of He-Man and Skeletor drinking a milkshake together, and I was just like, "Oh, there's a He-Man movie coming out."
Because you can imagine him being He-Man. That's the thing.
Yeah, I was like, "What?"
But yeah, we just didn't put it together, and it was like the last thing on our mind because, like I said, and it's the fact that I think that's another thing, that the fact that he's been a babyface for over 20 years, and you know, it's just to the point like he's almost like Rey Mysterio. Like they're never gonna do it, and it's his farewell tour. You want as many good people, like many people on your side, but yeah, this is, you know, I guess he didn't want to be that standard generic farewell tour. You know, do something memorable as well on your way out. And do something that I'm pretty sure he's been wanting to do for a long time, but obviously Vince got cold feet. You know,
nearly got to do as well.
Say again?
He nearly got to do it as well,
He
didn't
nearly
he?
got to do it
Against The Rock, which
Yeah,
is
exactly,
so
yeah.
like, so yeah, it'll have been itching to do that, and then to get so close and then just get the plug pulled on it. It's
Yeah,
like,
but the fact that like you said, they squandered a lot of merch, but like merch money, but they don't need the money, bro. they know
Well,
that
I think
they're
they'll
gonna make
make
that
more
back in the
doing
long
this.
run.
Oh, I do
Yeah,
too.
I think they'll make more, not merch money, but they'll make more money from people
Viewership.
buying WrestleMania and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
people are locked in now. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now. Yeah,
Is
I think,
WWE's YouTube monetized? Because they'll make enough
Yeah.
money off the clip, probably.
yeah,
that's what I'm
you know,
saying. Yeah, so like that's why they could sacrifice him being a heel instead of like trying to run off like all the good times and obviously make him do reruns of his old rivalries and keep him as a baby face. You know what I mean? Like obviously you could definitely do storylines with him being a face and maybe like you said, Punk being the heel or Cody selling his soul, that kind of stuff. You could definitely make some like good money that way. But I think this way you could, if you don't do it, get it back immediately, you'll definitely get it back in the long run. Considering
I
how long
also truly think Cena needed this, like as a character standpoint, because you think about what Cena has done in the last few years in the WWE. Roman took the L, right? The loss to Roman, got F5 by Brock after, right? Didn't that happen as well? And then lost to Austin
Solo.
Theory, right? And then Solo too. So like obviously Cena is going to always be over because he's a legend at the end of the day and one of the more popular wrestlers of our time. But if you're talking about like off of a character and a kayfabe perspective, Cena's kind of been on the weaker end of his career throughout the history of his time.
100%.
Adds like a completely fresh paint. Besides being heel, like you look at him more as a threat now. Because if he would have won as a babyface, besides the fact that it's the retirement tour, I don't know. I don't know if I would have as much investment for him versus Cody. But the fact that they added this wrinkle to it, it makes it like, oh, this is must watch. I have to see this main event now.
I think so as well, because I think what you're looking at is a situation where Triple H might have said, let's talk kayfabe for a second. Triple H has said to him, yeah, come back, do a farewell tour for sure, put over some younger talent. And The Rock's gone, do you want number 17? Because if you do, I can make that happen. Forget what Paul said. Like, if you want 17, I'll get you in the chamber. No worries. Like, it's fine. Join me. Like, I'd love for them to bring in Paul Levesque and Triple H like that, to be like, this was never the plan, John. What are you doing? And it's like, well, I didn't like your plan. People have been making a mockery of it. Look at how he's been booked into being this person who loses against Theory, loses against Solo. People make fun of his bald patch. People say he's washed up. Like, just bring him in to put over younger talent. I love that in a character, John Cena's gone, no, I deserve and have earned more than that. I deserve number 17. That's what's best for business, and I'm going to get it by any means necessary.
It's beautiful storytelling. Like, I know for a fact we wouldn't get this under the old regime. I think it would just be just a rerun of old shit, and we just like, yay, John Cena's back. It definitely wouldn't be as good as this, but yeah, it shook the world. But anyway, last but not least, Mr. Super Cena fan himself, Jordy in the Bank, the man that was obviously I think you last saw him live in Money in the Bank, wasn't it? In London. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously going back from that and then obviously seeing this now. Obviously, we saw your reaction at the watch along, but obviously you had a couple days to digest it all, and I'm pretty sure you've probably been watching the clip like 20,000 times. What's your thoughts overall? How do you feel, and where do we go from here?
My first thoughts, well, like I said, was initial shock. I didn't know what was happening. I had to watch it again. I was like, if I watch a replay, maybe it doesn't happen this time, but it did. And I had to digest it. And what I was looking at was my two childhood heroes, essentially, the two that I grew up watching, idolizing when they were baby faces, and even The Rock when he was a heel, stood together, united, with Cena holding up a WWE championship in the year of 2025. And I was like, why would I not like this? Like, what version of me doesn't like this? That version of me that was a Cody crybaby last year. Like I said, that weight belt's gone. That's been out of the background for a while now. I think and there's nothing really personal against Cody. Like I said before, it is just unfortunate. It could have been Roman in this position last year when Cena called his farewell tour. Roman would have been the one that was getting ran down and get out of the way because your collateral damage in the way of Cena hitting number 17. I honestly don't care who it is. If Cena ends up losing at Mania and Cody hands it over to loses against someone else, could be Randy, could be Punk. I don't care. Whoever gets in the way of John Cena in this farewell tour is getting ran down, and that's my loyalty to Cena. Not so much The Rock, because I really enjoyed what Punk said about The Rock last night. But no, from a different perspective, they pulled the trigger at the right time. Like you said, it's because it's been so long. People were so frustrated about Cena being the perfect good guy. Like people didn't like Cena, actively don't like Cena because of that. And I think it's a perfect way to let John flex his muscles, show what he can do as a heel before he finally kind of pulls the curtain on his career, because it's one of them things where it's like, I know they call him the greatest of all time and not everyone agrees about it, but you can't really be considered the greatest of all time in a sense if you've not had a good solid heel run. And I know Cena did some good stuff as a Doctor of Thugonomics, but people could think about that, but people would be like, nah, he was just a babyface. He was just a babyface. He didn't have it all. Cena's going to show in this last bit of his farewell tour that he does have it all, and he can do anything that he gets thrown at him, like he's always said. I think it's like hearing Captain America say "Hail Hydra." That's what I explained it to people who were Marvel fans that were like, just like, explain this to me. And one thing I want to throw back to you guys is, because I agree, Ben, biggest in WWE history, biggest in wrestling history in terms of heel turns, certainly in my time as well, because like I was alive for the Hogan one, but I don't really remember it. Like I was about this big, like, you know what I mean? But this one, it will be a where were you when it happened? And luckily, I've got a clip of it, my reaction to it, so I can say this is where I was, and this is how I reacted. But my question to you guys is there? I can't think of that many hero or villain turns within media that are on this level, and maybe I'm biased because I'm a wrestling fan, but like I can't think of anything that kind of is up on this level where somebody who we just thought was a good guy for the whole time just turns on us last minute. Like it is like Iron Man turning in Endgame, like that right at the end when he's got the glove on, passing it back to Thanos and being like, oh yeah, there you go, you thought I was a good guy this whole time. Like it's crazy. I can't think of anything. Like
the only one for me personally is definitely not up on the level of what happened on Saturday, but one that definitely came out of the blue, boy, it was so good, was when Shawn Michaels super kicked Hulk Hogan. For me, that was just like, even though it was very brief, a brief heel turn, and Hogan wasn't there for a majority of it, but it was like just that super kick and the fact that they just won a tag match, they were on a run, and yeah, he just kicks his head off, and I was just like, I was literally one of the ones I was like, why, Sean? Why? You know what I mean?
I tell you what hurt as well, but I've recently just watched it. Ted Lasso, when Nate becomes a bad guy for a season.
Oh yeah,
I loved Nate in that first season. That's so like that was one where I was like, no, I loved you. But it's, in all seriousness, the reason that it's the biggest of all time is because they pulled the trigger when they did and they waited so long to do it. So for anyone to say they should have done it 10 years ago is absolute nonsense in my head. It's just like, well, then why? Because then we'd be saying Cena's turned heel again. The key word being again. There's nothing as fun in that when it's like it's just not as good, because we'd be seeing a somewhat rehash of something we've seen before. The fact it's so new, it's so fresh. So long time coming.
To me, I always correlate things to sports, and I think these two guys, funny enough, are synonymous because they both came up in the same time. We talk about the 2003 NBA draft class. We talk about the 2003 OVW draft class. When LeBron James left the Cleveland Cavaliers and he made his story, he changed the direction. He made his decision. He's taking his talents to South Beach to play with a super team, leaving the town, the city that he was from, the team that he swore, which he eventually did later on, that he was going to take to the NBA Finals and win the title, but going to Miami and winning a finals, and everybody hating the LeBron James, hating the Miami Heat, thought it was the most criminal thing that can happen in sports.
Yeah, I remember
basketball.
they were burning like effigies of him, like burning down
Yeah.
murals of him and stuff. I'm still pissed at him with that press conference. He literally sat there for like a couple hours and then just said, "I'm going to South Beach," and I was just like, "You motherfucker!" Like,
and to me, I feel like Cena is the LeBron James of WWE. Like,
The one thing I do disagree with, though, is that this would have been as big without The Rock. It still would have been the biggest heel turn of all time.
nah, I feel like now,
thing went against his morals.
Yeah, but the fact it could have been somebody else, the fact that if at that point Cena had kicked him in the nuts, say that Rock wasn't in the ring, Cody comes down to shake his hand, Cena shakes his hand, kicks him in the nuts, hits him with a belt, holds it up, leaves him bloody in the ring, that would still be the biggest heel turn of all time. Yes, The Rock adds another layer that maybe puts it into another layer, but it still would have been the biggest of all time.
I can agree with that. I can agree
with The Rock threads the needle for this storyline, especially with Cody. For me, that's why, like, I don't say a lot of things in pro wrestling storyline are perfect. I think that segment is damn near a perfect 10 out of 10 segment as you can make it. And that goes past the shock value of Cena turning heel. It's the fact that The Rock and Cody have this storyline that stemmed from last year, that stemmed from this past year, right? Even to last week when he was cutting the promo and telling him that. And just the visual of the hug after he's hyping. Like, I remember I was watching it with my wife. She's like, what is Cena doing? Why is he acting all like goofy and stuff like that? During like when he told him to F off, right? And I was like, oh no. I was like, he's about to turn on him. She's like, nah, Cena's not going to turn on him. And you see the hug, and you see him, they cut him looking at The Rock.
Beautiful camera angle.
Hitting the dunzo with the 3 fingers, and then you get to it. That alone is a moment itself. Like, I mean, shit, that's been the damn meme I've seen the most the last few days. Like, I've seen it from political memes to sports betting memes to relationship stuff.
I still think that's what I mean. I still think all them memes would have happened because The Rock's not in that photo. It's just Cody hugging The Rock and Cody hugging Cena and him dropping deadpan into the hard cam, which still could have happened. You know what I mean? I just think like The Rock is The Rock, absolutely, and I agree the layer from last year, but I think people don't understand the fact that Cody and Cena used to travel together. Like, they've got stories about going into McDonald's at 12 o'clock at night. They've got a lot of history that I think will get told on this road to WrestleMania. And I think that's why, to me, I don't care that much that The Rock's involved. I care that Cena's turned on Cody of all people as well. Cody, like, that's the big thing for me. The Rock is a side dish. The big thing for me is the fact that Cena has kicked Cody.
Oh, he's an important side dish, though.
Yeah. He's like chips or fries if you're having a burger. He you know what I mean? Very important side dish. But the thing I'm most excited about is the burger.
The burger.
And Travis Scott is the sauce.
He's definitely the free water cup.
I hear that. I think it would, like, don't get me wrong. It would definitely, because he's built 20 years of rapport with people. So yeah, I agree. It would have definitely been as big. But the fact that there's also a sense of realism regarding The Rock, like, he does have power. He does have stock within the company, and he is actually able to convert one of the biggest baby faces in WWE history over to the dark side. You know, that just brings The Rock's aura, even though it's already big, because obviously, you know, he's one of the biggest actors, all this kind of stuff, but it brings his aura like 10 times even bigger now. And he's like he is now what Roman Reigns was the past 4 years, you know, just overlord, like this big diesel motherfucker. Like, so that's why I think it just makes it much better that The Rock is in it. What about you, Ben? Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking what you were saying, Jordy, right? About, you know, the hair and, you know, the fact he's balding and how everyone was making fun of him. I'm going to be honest, and a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, but I'm going to say it. I don't think John Cena has really done that much interesting since 2017 because it's almost felt like his character was always a little bit goofy. But since 2017, since he started growing his hair out, right? It's just the timings lined up with that perfectly. He's kind of felt like almost a parody of himself. And like it's a little bit like of an act. It's a bit cringe and like he can't be taken seriously. We talked about the wins and losses, but even on the mic, it's kind of felt like he's just doing all the hits and that's about it. Like he had the good promo with Roman, I think, in 2018. But outside of that, like he's just since the AJ Styles feud, quite frankly, he's felt like a parody of himself. And I do think, I don't want to say I was dreading this farewell tour, but I think subconsciously, I was kind of thinking like, this is going to be same old, same old, same old. Whereas now, we're going to see a new side to Cena. I mean, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Yeah, because it was like the farewell tour. It definitely had that stigma of it, just him playing, like you said, his greatest hits, and like I guess he was basically what The Rock was. Anytime he makes a surprise appearance, he just.
I think he wanted to. You saw what he did. We all saw what he did to Theory when he did cook him. And then after that, I think when it came out to Solo, I think he was knowledgeable. Like, I can't do that again. So, and I don't think he knows how to not do that, because that was one of Cena's best traits always, and always will be, his ability on the mic. And if you kind of be like, look, you can't go full gear because you'll kill him. It's like, well, I can't go at 50% because I don't quite know how to do that. And yeah, you're right. They did make a parody of him. Like when they had him dressed like with a jacket on and a bow tie and running around hosting one of the shows. I can't remember what it was. It was an absolute parody of himself. So I hope they use that in the storyline. I really do.
Yeah. Like even the summer of Cena when when the strikes was happening, that really didn't really mount up to anything. I don't remember anything from that.
It sucked.
Yeah.
Was it Fastlane? Fastlane when he was like hosting it or something, and he was running around like it with a blazer on and a bow tie.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Weird.
He was still in his gear, but he had the.
There was a couple of cool moments, like him and LA Knight was cool at points, but it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. That was just a weird time. It felt like a very weird time in WWE. That.
The 2019 run too sucked. That's the other one which I don't think people talk about enough. Like the late 2018 to 2019 run he had,
right?
It was just nothingness, and like his promos felt like, I don't want to say he didn't care because he did, but it was like nothing substance. I mean, the Theory promo you mentioned, the Roman Reigns one in 2021 as well. But other than that, I mean, we haven't seen proper Cena in
he completely like machine gun all of Theory's momentum to an oblivion, bro.
And he is yet to recover. Yet to recover.
Should he join them? Should Theory join this faction?
No, LA Knight should. If anybody should join this faction, it should.
So y'all really think they're gonna add somebody else to it?
That's what I was gonna ask.
I don't know. But at this point, I'll speculate anything because, look at what happened at the Rumble. Just look at the two reaction videos from the main events or the kind of climaxes of the past two PLEs, and I'm hand on head, jaw open. I didn't see Jey Uso winning, didn't see Cena turning heel. So, at this point, I don't know. If we're going to speculate on who could join, I think LA Knight would be an ideal. I think definitely a woman, because I want to see dominance across the whole division, across the whole. I want a women's champion, maybe even tag team champions, but whatever. I want LA Knight to join them because I think a heel LA Knight, he needs it, and The Rock ain't going to be around forever. Cena's only around until December, but the LA Knight's got a few years left in him. And he can
the same age as Cena.
No, but he's going to be around for longer. It's not about age; it's about how much they're going to be in WWE. The Rock as well could stick around.
Cena's almost 50, ain't he?
No, yeah, LA Knight's 41 or 39. I can't remember. But what I mean is, I think that would be a way for them to could put LA Knight over in a very cool way. That LA Knight can continue that gimmick without them there and be like LA Hollywood Knight. And I love him as a heel. LA Knight is a better heel. He's better when he's kind of tearing people down, telling the crowd, shut up, I'm talking. That's the better version of LA Knight. And I think now could be a perfect time for him to do that as well.
I think,
There's
I
only
think right
one
now,
man.
I think right now, I think they're just going to do the 2-man power trip because I don't think there's no one. I don't think you can get anyone else as big as them two right now. That's like that's a 2-man power
Rhea
trip.
Ripley said that she felt.
Unless Triple
that's
H decide to come and be an additional figure, but you got The Rock already, so you don't need that.
Rhea Ripley said that she felt isolated in a exclusive interview on WWE social media channels. Or what she saw Jackie Redmond said to her, so like, what's happening? It feels like you feel isolated, and she said, well, yeah, I keep losing. Friends aren't real. I thought Io was my friend, and I messed that up, and then I thought Bianca was my friend, and look what she's just done. So isolated, yeah, that's probably.
What does friends got to do with it going for your damn title? Like,
if she feels isolated, The Rock could be like, "Hey, you're also one of the biggest names in WWE right now."
Man, that woman gets she is so damn over though, man. I know.
The
issue is I don't know. They don't know how to maneuver like over heels because they just flip them to being a baby face, but they still keep heel mannerisms. That's my biggest issue with Tiffany Stratton, the champion. Like she's like doesn't know, and I think you see they made, and I even said it beforehand. Obviously, I joke around. I'm a big Stratton fan, and I think she's an incredible worker. I think they catapulted her into the main event scene entirely too quick because I don't think she knows how to be a world champion. Like that's supposed to help elevate her to it. They haven't allowed. She hasn't kind of grown into being a champion. It doesn't feel like she's a champion. She's still
not yet,
and that's not a problem. She's still hella young.
Yeah, she's been on what they're giving her.
For what, a year?
What? Yeah,
she's been on the main roster for like a year, right? Yeah,
just under a year.
But have you guys heard Clark and Kobe's thoughts on who the member is who's going to join? I actually think it was Kobe who came up with the theory, but they're saying that what they're going to do is they're going to do this feud until Mania. Then after Mania, The Rock's going to try and recruit Roman Reigns, and that's going to be the story. And then when Roman Reigns turns down the answer, they do basically the same angle that they did with Cena, but this time it's Drew McIntyre who comes out and takes out Roman Reigns. And Drew McIntyre is the third man because everybody, he basically he feels like everybody's turned against him, so screw it. And that's the one person I think would make sense in this group. 100%. One male who would make sense in this group.
Why does Drew make? Have I missed something? Why does Drew make sense? Is it because he gave him a sword on social media?
One of those things. Basically, gave him his contract. Yeah.
The Rock said to him. The Rock said to him, "The final boss owes you one," and also Drew McIntyre feels like all the bloodline and everything they've taken over everywhere. So for him to sell out to try and get what he wants would make sense in that way.
Yeah, and obviously that there was they had some conversations during the IG live. I think it was during the Raw Netflix. I know he probably.
Oh yeah, he said he swore because he.
Yeah, and he was whispering something in his ear. It might mean something, it might not. I don't know, but yeah, they're best buddies, man. They're best buddies.
The Rock announced that he resigned.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He took him a sword. That's what I mean. Yeah,
that's when the final boss line happened. Yeah.
No, Drew makes probably the most sense out of the names that I've heard that we've talked about. I think to what his character is, and then allowing him to he deserves these big opportunities with storylines. The guy's really fought tooth and nail and kind of been like as much of a company man as anybody else has. Like he got fucked over after the during his first title reign, right after the whole Lesnar stuff because of the pandemic, and he's kind of been playing like guys like him and Seth. They do what they're told to be done, and they do it to make their opponents look good in the process and are great dance partners in the process. Punk isn't as hot as he is right now without those storylines with Seth right now, with Drew prior to it. And countless other ones too.
Yeah. No, 100%. So you kind of pretty much answered that question regarding like if he's gonna add, like all the stuff with his fingers in terms of he did 3 and then he did 2, like so there's most likely gonna be some
That's
adding.
and that's the
I don't know if that is
interesting thing, right?
intentional. I don't know if it's a reach. It's one of them things. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a reach
I
or he
don't know
meant
either.
for that.
The first one he did at Bad Blood, what was it? He went.
He just went 3. Just did this.
one.
He didn't do that. He just did this. That's what he did.
Yeah, so he did the fingers one by one and then did that.
Yeah,
that's a symbol in like it's either a mafia symbol or something like that.
Just
but
mafia symbol.
it means you're dead to. It means
Yeah,
you're like
because
a
at
family
that
member who's
time-
dead to you.
at that time there was Cody, Reigns, and Jimmy in that ring, so that's why I thought it was them 3 that it was going to be all taken out. Which I guess he's taken out one, and I guess Reigns probably will be the next one, and the next one was Jimmy. Well, which I feel
Big
bad for
Jim, leave
Yeah,
Big
Big
Jim
Jim.
alone.
So that's
Big
why
Jim's
that's
gonna
what
be
it
the
is.
Main event,
hero.
Jimmy Uso, come on.
This is time. This is Big Jim's time.
Nah, he deserves something, man.
Yeah, he does.
Another beating. He gets taken out for
No.
for a good while.
It's crazy, man. Like Jimmy getting hurt helped Jay so much, but it really made people forget that Jimmy was the bigger Uso when they were in the tag teams. Like Jimmy always to me was on the mic. It's still to this day. Like you could argue Jimmy is a better like genuine like promo
100%.
going into stuff. He cuts really good promos when given the opportunity, but it's like they found something with him, bro. They found they found his sweet spot is how he is as a player, and he's just going crazy. Like, and you gotta ride the hot hand. I don't care what nobody says, even if he flames out after a year, who gives a shit? You ride that hot hand till it flames out, and then the next course of action happens. Like, you let him get what he got to do. But I feel bad for Big Jim because I think the dude is talented as hell too.
100%.
And his wife got dog walk. What the hell, man?
Okay, so say for instance, Cena does win the title at Mania. I mean, I don't think there's any other way he should go, really. But yeah, say if he wins at Mania, how long should he keep it, and who takes it away from him? Ben, you go first.
I don't think he should hold it past SummerSlam because I don't know. The thing is, selfishly, I want to see heel Cena until the end. There's something different and I'm interested. But I just can't see them retiring him as a heel. So I reckon probably SummerSlam he'll drop it. Then by the November event, he'll turn face again for that final match. But who should he drop it to? That's actually a difficult one, to be honest with you. A lot of people say Cody again. I know that's the popular one. But if not, I'd like it to be, younger star, perhaps a Braun Breaker or something like that. But then how would you get him to be that big of a face that quickly? It's a difficult one. Maybe back to Cody or Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins deserves another WWE Championship run soon too.
Seth. Okay, fair enough. I don't know if I'm ready for another Seth title run. I mean, the World Heavyweight Championship run is still fresh in my mind, which shows how good it was, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was a great run. But fair enough. Okay, so you're saying till SummerSlam and then by Seth Rollins. Shad, who you got?
So I truly do think it's going to be him holding the title to SummerSlam, and it's Cody's redemption arc, him getting his comeuppance and going against Cena again and winning the title. But I'll throw you a pivot. We mentioned Drew being a pseudo third person into this faction, right? Let's say Cena wins the title. Then you see a bit of a friction and break between him and The Rock. The Rock plugs in his other hitman and gets one under John Cena, and you have Drew beat Cena for the title and become champion. And that also allows you to get Cena to break out of the whole heel persona, goes out like a babyface for the rest of his time in the WWE. So that could be an interesting way, but I do think it's going to be coming back to Cody.
Okay.
I'd love that.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that sounds good. That's good. Mr. Super Cena fan, Jordy, who you got and how long is he going to keep it?
Past Money in the Bank, past War Games. I think he'll drop it right at the end, but with a little bit of time on regular TV to turn him back face or something. I don't know how they'll do it, but I really think they'll take it as long. I do want to see Team Cena versus Team Cody in War Games already. That's why I want to see it go past War Games. Or whether it's Team Final Boss and Cena's just a pawn within it and takes a pin in War Games, and then Cody's like, I've got your number now. Let's do it again. But another little curveball that I would love to see is Roman Reigns, because obviously Cena's never beat him. So that's a great story to be able to tell that if Roman goes back against him.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, I'd like to see that.
Okay. Yeah, that's
do y'all think that the WWE could be okay writing Cody off for an extended time for the year after Mania?
No.
What do you mean? Like not be on TV, or you mean just
like write them off? Like,
it depends on Cena's schedule and stuff. I think they could for like 4 weeks.
I feel
for 4 weeks I could see it, but
bring him
nothing
back in like Backlash or something like that. You know, something like that. I don't know.
I feel like they're gonna give what I thought they were gonna do with Cena to Cody, in terms of he's gonna go through all these avenues to try and get his hands on Cena, and it doesn't work. So he's gonna be in Money in the Bank. He's gonna be in King of the Ring. He's gonna be War Games, but he just keeps on, and then he might ultimately, at some point, he will ultimately get his chance. I don't think that he's gonna be the one to take the title back off him. I feel that they're gonna write this one off with CM Punk. I feel they did a huge tease at Elimination Chamber. They are gonna run that rivalry back. I think the best person, because I don't think they're gonna do him against Orton being his final match. Because if you all recall, I think it was a few years ago when they just kept on running back Orton and Cena.
Yeah.
And there was one final time when they said, yeah, this is the final time. Like they ain't gonna be beefing again afterwards. If they keep to that lore, then yeah, I don't think it's gonna be his final match. I think the final match will be him against Punk, and then Punk finally gets the World Championship. It might not be a Mania, but I think he's going to get his main event at Mania. Can
I just say something? Cena is 100% winning the Crown Jewel belt and ring.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah.
I mean,
the
issue is though, Crown Jewel is sick. No, Crown Jewel will be 7 weeks away from his. No, will be 8 weeks away from his retirement event, and War Games is only 3 weeks before the retirement event. So there's not much time between them all.
Well, then in that case, maybe they do War Games and it's Final Boss, and Cena joins Team Cody, and he's already dropped the belt by then. That could be what they do. I don't think The Rock will be involved in that War Games match, although I'd love it. But I think he will have a team ready, and then Cody, and then Cena will join Cody or something, or turn in the War Games match. It'll happen. Cena will actually turn on his own team.
Yeah, I feel like whatever happens, when he loses the title, then all of a sudden the red mist clears, and then he's gonna go face again, because that's what he ultimately wants. He wants to carry on doing these make-a-wishes after he's retired and whatnot.
Talk about Disney again.
Say again.
And then we can talk about Disney again.
And you can talk about Disney again, yeah. But yeah, that's my pick for regarding taking the title off him, and yeah, I think he's gonna keep it to the end of the year at least, or at least a big pay-per-view with, because I'm sure they haven't announced all their pay-per-views. I know a while back they used to announce the whole calendar a whole year before, but they're doing it piece by piece this lately. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it.
I realized I must have been like a tormented child, because all these kids crying about him turning heel, I kind of laugh at it. Like, I used to love the heels as a child. Like, I don't know. Maybe I need to go to therapy.
That's so good. You're like Cartman from South Park when that kid was crying over because his mom was in the soup and the chili, and he's all like,
"Oh my god,"
drinking his tears.
The bully? I ain't that crazy. That was a funny episode, though.
No, it's so good. It's so good. All right. Well, on that note, guys, we've come to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we make sure, as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you check us out on The Daily Show, sold separately. Spotlight, NXT Off the Air, Allison's Analysis, and of course, obviously, Take It to the Table. So we got a lot of stuff going on this YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe and lock in if you haven't done so already. But yeah, thank you very much, Shad. Thank you very much, Jordy. Thank you very much, Ben, El Jefe, for joining us at the table. It's been lovely to have you here, and it's good to be back. And yeah, be sure to check us out on the next episode of Taking the Table. But until next time, guys, I have been your host, Chaos. He has been Shad. Down has been Jordy, taking off his sunglasses finally, and El Jefe. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Chaos.